the industry kind of wanted a heartier apple that was just as sweet. And Cosmic really is that. It's actually part Honeycrisp and part Enterprise.
After 20 years, the Cosmic Crisp apple is going to be hitting store shelves soon. And you covered a little bit of that recently, went out in the fields to see how it's grown, talked to not only farmers but also scientists who are helping to develop it. Why has it taken so long, frankly? Maybe people think that, wow, 20 years, that seems like a really long time. And tell us a little bit some of that scientific development about why it's so exciting for this apple.
Well, the apple itself, it took 20 years because there was a lot of breeding and testing, basically to make it a very resilient apple that was very attractive to the consumer. Other apples that have been really attractive to consumers that have been really popular have been things like Honeycrisp. That apple is very sweet, it's very popular. It's very profitable, but it's also very difficult to grow. It's very delicate. It's subject to something called bitter pit. It's delicate to the sunlight. It gets sunburn. And so the industry kind of wanted a heartier apple that was just as sweet. And Cosmic really is that. It's actually part Honeycrisp and part Enterprise. So it takes the best of two worlds and really kind of puts forward this apple that's potentially very attractive to consumers, but also really easy to grow.
Right, you mentioned the combination of Honeycrisp and Enterprise, but what are some of the things that the growers and the scientists are looking out for in this new Honeycrisp, and why they're putting so much, vision and stake in it turning out to be a good product for them?
Well, there's a lot of investment that has gone into this apple, and more so than other new apples. New apples kind of come up all the time, but this is a publicly funded apple. It was researched by Washington State University researchers, and Washington growers have exclusivity over this apple. So for 10 years, Washington State is the only state that can produce this apple, and already it's gathered a lot of profit for institutions like WSU. There's another side to this where it's not in a research environment anymore. So now that growers have been growing it for about 2 years, and now that it's about to hit the market, people are kind of finding out what kind of soil conditions it does better in, what kind of watering it needs, how delicate it is as an apple. And that's going to take a long time to figure out in full. Some of the things that growers are looking out for example, are something called blindwood. This is a tree that grows very vigorously. And so that means that branches can potentially grow without any leaves or without any apples, which is why it's called blindwood. It's just wood with nothing on it. Another thing is green spot, which is kind of a nutritional deficiency that's sort of similar to bitter pit in Honeycrisp, but it's still not entirely understood, again, because conditions in orchards vary greatly, whereas in a research environment, everything is controlled for these other variables that they're testing of whether different apples combine better, or what apples are actually what they're looking for in terms of hardiness and easiness to grow and the taste.
Right. Well, we look forward to seeing the apples that are kind of like this. Again, this is a Honeycrisp, not a Cosmic Crisp, soon on store shelves. And we thank you for bringing us these stories today. Thanks you for joining us today, Enrique.
Yeah, my pleasure. Thanks for having me.
You can read all about these topics and more of the things that Enrique covers in Central Washington at our website, nwpb.org. Thank you for joining us here in the unique Northwest.